Rotax heats. This will be the first heat for these drivers that we will have a look on the grid rundown. When Nick gives us the grid, yep, he's just drifting a little bit. Taylor England then will start on the pole position with Rafi Salentano alongside. Chase Rainsbury and Jack Theobald are on row 2. Got Mason Perrin on the number 4. Leo French alongside. Harvey Quick and Joshua Priest on row 4. Jacob Martin and George Humer on row 5. Then Adam Catling, Shane Downer, Isaac Reynolds, Tristan Sharp on row 7. John Hobbs, Bradley Howes are on row 8. Ollie Varney on the number 5 alongside Dylan Brayley. We've got Charlie Hume and Jacob Hobbs, George Esgrove and Ethan Farrell. And then on row 12, Harvey Williams and Alexander Campbell. Brodie Skinner, Reece Knight are next up. Ethan Lomax and Ethan Wyatt start next. And then on row 15, Brandon Klein-Nagelvort, who is a big welcome name to the NKC. Haven't seen him for a while. Alexander Colentiano was alongside. Finlay Underwood and Luke Evans, with Maxim Smith rounding off a 33-kart field. So once again, 8 minutes and 1 lap for this heat, as we have got 1 or 2 karts to recover. That's going to take some time, as we will give you an idea of what's coming up for the rest of tomorrow. We've got all of our heats to get through. We start with the Senior Rotax heat in the morning at 9 a.m. and we'll be on air live for you about 5 minutes before that, I would think, for Nick and I to have a bit of a chat, just set things up for the day. And then we're pretty much solid through all of our heats. And I'm just checking to see if we've got any info. No, we haven't. I think we're probably going to have a C final, Nick, for Senior Rotax. C final for Senior Rotax. A B final for... Say that again? No B final for 177. B finals for juniors and seniors, and then our all-important finals, which is where the trophies are given out for I think the top 5 still in the NKC. Top 5 for trophies. But second heat for Senior Rotax, the championship I mentioned earlier, being led by Jensen Watts. Very tense situation for Jensen. Retaining a championship, winning a championship is extremely hard to do. Retaining a championship, well, you know how hard that is. What I didn't get a chance to mention was the Junior Rotax Championship. We've just had the first heat for them. Well, that championship is being led by Jaden Sherwood. Again, with dropped scores all to play for. Jaden Sherwood on 709 points. Dylan Morton on 695, so only 14 points in it there, and that's absolutely nothing. That can disappear in the blink of an eye. Jaden Sherwood carrying the number 2, Dylan Morton carrying the number 9, so both top 10 finishes in the 2024 series. In third place, not that far away on 684, is Aidan Large. Finlay Hines is on 671, and then just behind them, Riley Thatcher on 669. Sixth place, Nathan Edwards, 667. Archie Dyson on 655. Jacob Aston is next up in 8th. Leo Basterfield, Kai Pepperell. Barnaby Good just outside the top 10 on 620. So again, still with 2 rounds to go, that championship is very, very much wide open indeed. And the Senior Rotax likewise. Senior Rotax, very, very tense business. Jensen Watts, current champion, wants to retain that number 1 for the Racing Perfection Burrell Art team. Bobby Rosier, of course, Bobby, a former NKC champion, in second. The points are 713 for Jensen Watts, 692 for Bobby Rosier, 671 for Freddie Worlock in third, and then Ben Ballou just not far away on 664. Now the thing is, with the NKC, you don't drop a round, you drop individual heats and finals. So you can drop Heat 1 from round 1, Heat 2 from round 3, Heat 3 from round 4, and so on and so forth. So it's a very much a dynamic championship table, which kind of makes it virtually impossible all the way up to the final heat, final of the season for us to kind of fathom out who is in contention and what is happening. And then, of course, you've got all results are provisional because we have to go through a tech inspection. No surprise, we've got the false start flag, and we will go around once again and give these drivers, not deliberately, I'm not sure what the starter was unsettled with there, or disgruntled with I should say, but we're sending them round again, and it will give the drivers a chance to get some heat into the tyres, into the brakes, so it'll give you a consistent brake pedal and indeed a consistent tyre. Tyres should be coming up to their optimum temperature by about lap 2 or 3 here. It's not a cold day, but it's not a warm day either. It's got that chilly breeze that has kept the sun away. The cloud cover hasn't dissipated as it was forecast to do, and hence we've got a cooler day than what everyone was expecting. If the forecast to be believed, it's going to be bright and sunny tomorrow. It's going to be pretty scorchio, but we'll wait and see what tomorrow brings. As right now, we've got our grid just coming out the boot, and if our pole position driver Taylor England and Rafi Salentano on the number 46, Taylor England on the pole into oblivion, then again we go, and it's a daunting left and right section here to start the lap off. Karts going off at a tangent there, not quite sure who that was. It was a blink of an eye, and already a move down into Christmas, the late apex, or was it the fact that the kart wouldn't turn because of cold tyres? We'll see. It's a Birrell Art that leads. The number 60 is Chase Rainsbury. He's off into the lead. We've got bits of exhaust flying off, it looked like that. So things beginning to get all very heated as we look at this once again into turn 1. And then somewhere in the mid-pack, somebody got turned around or spun off. And literally, how he was not T-boned, I will never know. He needs to put a lottery ticket on. That could have been very naughty there on lap 1. Always the heat of battle there at the very highest intensity. It's Mason Perrin who will lead this race towards Christmas for the second time. Rafi Salentano is Kieran Gifford Racing colours there in second place. I think it's Kieran Gifford Racing, might even be an MPR, might be Mason Perrin actually, that he drives for. Taylor England, George Hume, Joshua Priest, Chase Rainsbury dropped to 6th there by the time they got. He was leading into and out of Christmas was Chase, and then he got bundled down to 6th place by the time they made way round to the start-finish line. Leo French, Bradley Howes, Jacob Martin and Dylan Brayley. We've got a black flag for Jacob Martin. He's the one who's lost his exhaust, and you can hear him. You can hear him in the pack, that exhaust there, not being muffled at all. As George Hume moves ahead of Taylor England. There he goes, I can hear him. So black flag for Jacob Martin, a mechanical flag for Jacob Martin, which has been followed by a black flag because he didn't see the mechanical flag. I'm not sure he can't hear that. That's the number 60 who we saw, Chase Rainsbury, making great progress. Oh, and a coming together there as 3 karts trip over themselves. Leo French, Bradley Howes are the karts involved. Not sure how that's panned out. That's all settled down on the back straight, but there a lunge into the boot from the number 93. Or is that the 83? Is it the 83? It's a Lando Norris kart, and it's Bradley Howes. No, it's Brandon Klein-Nagelvoort. Welcome back, Brandon Klein-Nagelvoort. There, down the inside. It was indeed the 93. He's on a Dan Holland Racing liveried kart. I'm not sure if he's with... Well, Dan Holland's here, isn't it? Dan Holland's the... this is the home track for Dan. His workshop's just out the back there. So he could well be that Brandon is with DHR. On the back straight then, heading towards the boot. That's Leo French from the 83, Bradley Howes. And it doesn't look like Bradley Howes is intent on staying behind that bright yellow and blue kart of Leo French. Leo's job is to keep him behind as they come out of the crook right-hander and on towards Christmas. Now, Christmas corner is a much faster right-hander than it looks. It looks like a hairpin. It's not quite a 180-degree hairpin, and it's got a very fast entry, very wide track there. Up there, you can absolutely throw the kart in. Getting towards half distance there. and things beginning to heat up there in the battle between Leo French and Bradley Howes. As we move towards the 91 of George Hulme, has got Rafi Salentano just behind him. Across the Nouvelle chicane, Mason Perrin leading still. And Mason Perrin beginning to pull away now from George Hulme. The gap's out to just under 0.8 of a second. So it's not massive. It's a bit of a cushion though for him. As the number 68 there, Taylor England, now right on the bumper of Salentano. Turning right through Ashby, using all of the curb and almost having a look down the inside. Momentum from Salentano was absolutely kept up there. Heading towards the boot. 3.5 minutes remaining. Some neat driving here from all of these drivers. Got a little bit hectic there in the early stages, but things beginning to settle down now. And we've got the Taylor England, number 68 there. Taylor just looking like he's doing all he can to have a look down the inside. Salentano makes the job hard. Not hard enough though, as Taylor England had the momentum through Crook. Salentano coming back at him. Can he have a look down into Ashby? No, he cannot. And that has allowed Taylor England a little bit of a breather. They're side by side going toward, and he's back at him. Salentano back into that third place. This is great racing from these two. Giving each other room, allowing each other the space to make those moves. You need a little bit of compromise from the driver that you're overtaking. And look at that. Once again, we've got the situation resuming through oblivion there as Taylor England latches onto the bumper. This is where he had to go last time. Salentano doesn't need to defend though. He's got momentum, pulling alongside towards Inkermans, and that was really brave. It was all about coming out of Christmas corner. Salentano coming under pressure from Joshua Priest now, as England has now made that move. And it was all about, the last time it was into Christmas, this time it was all about out of Christmas. How he kept that momentum through the left-hand sweep towards the right-hander there at Inkermans. By the time they got to Inkermans, it was done deal. Taylor England out of the Nouvelle chicane and across the line. He will show in third place ahead of Salentano. Now in fourth, Joshua Priest on the black and purple card. Joshua looking like he wants to challenge. Here comes the Dan Holland racing card of Brandon Klein-Nagelvoort in sixth. Leo French, Bradley Howes, Ethan Lomax, Charlie Hulme rounding off the top 10. This is a battle that has developed for the lead with just over a minute remaining then. Mason Perrin has lost what was almost a second to George Hulme, has now come right back at him, and George almost onto the rear bumper of Mason Perrin. Mason, remember, a former junior Rotax champion in the NKC and fourth in the 2024 championship. Carrying the number 4 seeded driver in this series, but about to be challenged quite strongly, I would say, by George Hulme. They're going to have 2 more laps after this one. Down towards Ashby. You can easily overcook it through here as it's massively off camber there. That exit curb just pulling you in. No track limits, of course, here in the NKC. Using all of the curb and more. As much of the curb as you can, actually, to keep the momentum there. Into the boot. Just look how racy George Hulme's looking. Into the chicane. Need to be clean through here. Bouncing across the curb there. Across the line. 8 seconds on the clock. It's going to be the 1 lap to go board next time by. And can Hulme have a go? They come out of Crook. Now heading down, charging down to Christmas corner. Mason Perrin doesn't have to defend. Are we going to see it? No, we're not. We're not going to see what we saw from Taylor England and George Hulme. Early days, isn't it? First heat for these drivers. So discretion being the better part of valour, I think, in their attitude towards making that move. Or is it George Hulme waiting his time, biding his time? He's a hard driver to pass, as Mason Perrin. He's very, very quick on all parts of this track, and it's going to be very difficult for George Hulme. He's going to have to really think about this. Again, clattering across the curb. There's the last lap board. Mason Perrin looking over his shoulder. George Hume's still there. He can't make a mistake. He cannot make any mistake. Towards Christmas Corner. Here they come. No mistake made. Braking at the very latest. He knows he's under pressure from George Hume. And if anything, Mason Perrin's just upped a gear, hasn't he? Down towards the hairpin at Ashby. He's upped a gear. Looks up. Only I don't know what that means, Mason. Tapping your helmet on the last lap, mate. Don't have a go at me. What he's saying is use your head, George. Don't make any do or die moves, because we'll all end up with 0 points if you do. And George Hume's been very, very circumspect here and very clever, I would say. He knows how hard it was to get past Mason Perrin. And again, discretion being the better part of valour. Second place is better than 30th. As Mason Perrin takes first, George Hume second, Taylor England hung on to third. Brandon Klein-Nagelvoort, welcome to the NKC, Brandon, up into fourth. Rafi Salentano fifth, Joshua Priest sixth, Bradley House seventh, Leo French eighth, Ethan Lomax ninth, and Charlie Hume running off the top 10. There's the rest of the finishers just coming through now. Ethan Wyatt went out on lap 7, Jacob Martin went out on lap 2, and we lost Tristan Sharp at the very beginning of this race. So bad